Hello, everybody. Let's go over the homework from last night. So we talked about how to use Pythagorean theorem to find ordered pairs on a circle or find the radius of a circle around the origin. So here, this one that's labeled number 13. So this ordered pair here tells you the radius is 1. And then remember, you could drop the vertical down to the x-axis to make a right triangle. And this is a special right triangle. So if you rotate 150 degrees, that's 30 degrees away from west, you could say. So then that's a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. So you have, here's 1. So if you label it A radical 3, and then 2a is the hypotenuse, therefore 1 corresponds to the 2a, so a is a half. And then radical 3. So you could say half radical 3, which is radical 3 over 2. So then the coordinates are negative radical 3 over 2, because you go to the left radical 3 over 2 and up a half. So there's the ordered pair. Here's number 16. Set up the right triangle. This time you rotate it 135, so that's 45 degrees as the acute angle. The radius is 1. And then this is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So 1 is the hypotenuse, or the radius. And we know that it goes A radical 2. So 1 is the A radical 2. So divide by radical 2. A equals 1 over radical 2. And we like to rationalize the denominators. So radical 2 over radical 4, which is square root of 2 over 2. So that's here and here. So the ordered pair is negative square root of 2 over 2, comma, positive square root of 2 over 2. And then number 17, a 210-degree rotation is 30 degrees more than 180. So we have a 30, 60, 90 special right triangle. The radius again is 1. And therefore the short leg is a half, and then the long leg is radical 3 over 2. So the ordered pair is negative square root of 3 over 2, comma, negative 1 half. Next page. So now we want to find the y-coordinate. Here we're given the radius is 25. Drop the perpendicular to the x-axis. This is not a 30, 60, 90. We don't know the angle, so you can't use it. So the negative 7 here tells us the base is 7, and we don't know the height. So you could use Pythagorean theorem, or you'll recognize that that is a 7, 24, 25 special right triangle. So y equals 24. But you could use Pythagorean theorem and get the same answer. Number 11. So we don't know the radius this time. So you went over 5 up 12 to plot the point. Now use Pythagorean theorem, or recognize it's a 5, 12, 13. So the radius is 13. Number 10, the radius is 1 based on the ordered pairs. And then this is a special right triangle. So it's A radical 2. So A equals 1 over radical 2. Rationalize the denominator, radical 2 over 2. So the ordered pair is radical 2 over 2, comma, radical 2 over 2. And 13, finding the radius. So we have a 150-degree rotation, which means you're 30 degrees away from 180. Drop the vertical. The height is 6. Okay. And so if we draw that triangle, 6 is the A. So the long leg is 6 radical 3. So that's actually the x-coordinate. It didn't ask for that, but that's what it is. And then the hypotenuse, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem for. And let me do that off to the side here. So you have 6 squared plus 6 radical 3 squared equals c squared, or the hypotenuse squared, or the radius squared. So that's 36. Now here, some people had trouble in other assessments. 6 radical 3 times 6 radical 3 is 36 times 3. So you square both the 6 and the radical 3. Oh, I need my calculator for that. So, let's see. So 36 times 3 plus 36 is 144. Square root c equals 12. So you get a radius of 12. Or, I don't know why I didn't just double the short leg. So either way, you could always use the Pythagorean theorem or just use the shortcut, which was A radical 3, so 2a. That makes sense, right? All right, so the radius is 12. And then we'll finish up with these 2 word problems. A giant California redwood tree, 36 meters tall, cracked in a violent storm and fell as if on a hinge. The tip of the once beautiful tree hit the ground 24 meters from the base. Researcher Redwoods wishes to investigate the crack. How many meters up from the base of the tree does he have to climb? So this forms a right triangle. The height is x, the base is 24. Now, if the whole tree is 36 meters tall, then what's left is 36 minus x. Think about that for a second. Okay. Now we want to solve for x. So now use Pythagorean theorem to set up an equation. I think it ends up as a quadratic. So you get x squared plus 24 squared equals 36 minus x quantity squared. Okay. So x squared plus 24 squared, so plus 576. And now FOIL, sneaky square, 1296 minus 72x plus x squared. So that's the FOIL or sneaky square. Now let's solve the equation. Minus x squared to both sides. So this actually reduces down to a linear, which is quite nice. And then subtract 1296 to both sides. Negative 720 equals negative 72x. Divide by negative 72, x equals 10. So it cracks 10 meters up. So number 17 is kind of like the stick in the box problem. So we have, well, first we're going to find the area of this cardboard rectangle. So you need base times height. So we need to know this base. So let's use Pythagorean theorem on the bottom here. So 40 squared plus 60 squared equals c squared. And I'm going to give you decimal approximation for this one. So therefore, the area will be 72.111, which is the square root of 5,200, if you are wondering, which is 10 radical 52, but we'll just use the decimal, times 20, and it's approximately 1,442.22 centimeters squared. Now, we want to get this length of the diagonal on the rectangle, which is actually, if that was a stick in the box, that would be the longest stick in the box. So we can make a right triangle standing up. So we already have the 72.111 and the 20. So now use Pythagorean theorem again. I'm going to do that up here on the side. So we have 72. Well, it's, square root of 5,200 squared. That's this, square root of 5,200. Plus 20 squared equals c squared. So that's 5,200 plus 400 is 5,600. So square root of 5,600, we'll just use the decimal equivalent approximation. 74.83 centimeters. So there it is. And that's it. So go on to today's lesson. Email me if you have any questions. Come for extra help. All that good stuff. Enjoy your day.